West Shore Home Friday Night Rivals presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. And tonight, a week 2 annual get-together. Leesville Road, the Pride 1-0. Panther Creek, the homestanding Catamounts 0-1. Hi, everybody. Patrick Johnson and Jay Sunhalter with you. Sunny for Leesville. They're trying to get to 2-0. And for the Catamounts, an opportunity tonight to get their first win of the season.
Patrick, two of the top teams in the state both went to the fourth round of the playoffs last year. A lot of returning players coming back, and Leesville looks so good in their week 1 victory. And for Panther Creek, they're really looking forward to taking the next step this week going against a great Leesville team.
It's the Sunny Star Watch. Jay, who are your players to keep an eye on tonight?
So DJ Scott for Leesville Road is one of the best running backs in the state. He impresses me so much with his vision, how he can bounce it to the outside and use his speed, and then also get the tough yardage in between the tackles. He's a leader for the Pride, and he's somebody coming into this year with such high expectations. Last year, he was the conference's Offensive Player of the Year. And over for Panther Creek, Tyler Thompson, one of the best in the nation, coming off the edge. 19 sacks last year. He's a star in the basketball court, but next year he'll be heading to UNC to play for Mac Brown. And last week he faced a lot of double teams. The attention is on him, but he's got quick first step, long arms, and he creates havoc in the backfield.
It's time now for the keys to the matchup.
Well, for Leesville Road, they protected the ball so well last week against Wakefield. That's their focus area. And then stopping the screen game for Panther Creek. They're going to throw quick passes, and Leesville feels very confident in their front seven. For Panther Creek, it's rounding the football, sprinting and swarming as one on the defensive side, and then trusting the offensive line. They've got to get a running game going tonight.
Well, one of the other storylines of this matchup is the signal caller who's not playing in this game for Panther Creek. And with more on that, we introduce you to the newest member of our Friday Night Rivals team, Alexa Kay.
Thanks, Patrick. And obviously, Amari Odom being out due to injury is a huge loss for Panther Creek. But after talking to Sean Crocker this week, he has told us that Amari has really stepped up into that leadership role. And we're going to be talking about him a lot more this game. But on to Leesville Road. Their quarterback, John Mark Shaw, having him has really opened up their offensive options. And they're really excited to have him this season. Also, we're going to see tonight if John Mark Shaw and Leesville Road can lead Leesville Road to a 2-0 start this season. Stay with us with Friday Night Rivals. We'll be right back.
Thank you to the United States Marine Corps for today's coin toss. The few, the proud, the Marines. Contact your local recruiter today. Panther Creek will receive the football to start things here as it's the season debut of the West Shore Home Friday Night Rivals presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling for 2022. See the Catamounts getting ready to return. Marion Turner back to receive the kick, which is upcoming here. And he'll be joined back there by the very dangerous Bradley Garrity. Rowan Naik will be doing the kicking for Leesville Road as we're about to get underway. 45-0 last year, but Jay, after this game, Panther Creek kind of turned it around.
Yeah, they got on fire, went to the fourth round of the playoffs, and their offense, defense, special teams all clicked, and they're looking to have the same turnaround starting this week.
Kick is fielded at the 6. It'll be brought to the near side, and a nice job to slice for some extra yardage out to the 28. A 22-yard return after the American Military University kickoff. AMU, the #1 provider of higher education to the U.S. military. It's returned there by the ever-slippery Bradley Garrity. They're going to come out, and Will Clancy will be at the controls. Sonny, we alluded to it. No Amari Odom. Clancy, he's the man this season at QB for the Catamounts, and they just want him to play within himself.
He's got a lot of potential, and these guys are very accurate with the football.
Operates out of a gun here, and he'll go with the attempt at a bubble screen, but it's sniffed out by this ever-dangerous Leesville defense. Xavier Lewis up to make the stop there, the sophomore. And here's a look at the starting lineup for Panther Creek's offense. We told you about Clancy he has some other weapons out there, Sonny, that he can go to. But this group right now, just 10 points last week and didn't score in the second half.
Yeah, Kalen Luton, he's a really good running back. Looks to have a big game tonight. Bradley Garrity had an outstanding junior season. This offensive line, they've got to find a way to run the football tonight.
The Air Experts Heating and Cooling starting lineup for the Catamounts there, who run it on 2nd and long, and they're going to lose yardage, or are they? Yeah, they are, going down in the backfield, and right now the Catamounts are going in the wrong direction. Let's take a look at the defense there. It's not much for Luton as he was swallowed up by Lewis again. So Lewis is figured prominently, and you look at the rest of this defense, Sonny, it is a lunch pail group.
The front seven has been outstanding. Some young talent back in the secondary. Xavier Lewis, a sophomore, first 2 plays, 2 tackles. Braxton Lassiter, he's going to play both ways. And the linebacking core is very experienced.
Third down here after the Air Experts Heating and Cooling starting lineup, and it is going to be picked up, and it'll be taken in for a score. What a beginning for Leesville, and what a beginning for Xavier Lewis. And the Leesville crowd hyped for this one. They have plenty reason to be.
The first 2 plays, 2 tackles for Lewis, and here he sniffs out the slant route. Great job with his hands focusing, and then the agility to get into the end zone. He just took over on that series.
How about the Crabtree Mall touchdown? The first of the year is on defense. The defense getting on the board here on Friday Night Rivals for the first score of the slate. Go-to destination for fashion and food for 50 years. Shop, dine, and explore our 200-plus stores and restaurants in the heart of Raleigh, Crabtree Mall. Kick is good. An inauspicious start for the Catamounts offensively. Better start you couldn't order up for Leesville Road. They lead at 7-zip. It's time for the American Military University kickoff. AMU, the #1 provider of higher education to the U.S. military. What a start for Leesville defensively, led by their sophomore lineman Xavier Lewis. A couple of tackles for loss and then a pick 6. He was blowing things up and was a real disruptor. And after the good kick return, this one is kicked a little uglier. It is fielded off a bounce at the 11-yard line. And another good return for the Catamounts. This time delivering the mail was Turner. That wasn't the issue with this last possession, Sonny, not the return, but the issue was getting things going offensively. Leesville very aggressive on that opening series defensively, and Sean Crocker's got to figure something out as he calls the plays for the Catamounts offensively.
Well, and he's such a great offensive mind, and for him, also on the defensive side, he kind of oversees both sides of the ball. But this is a talented group, but tonight they're going against a really tough front seven, so they've got to figure out a way to get some consistent ground attack so they can hit you with the play action pass.
Luton again brought down, shooting the gap and making a nice tackle was Tyler Carlson there, the hybrid linebacker defensive end. And not a whole lot for the junior Luton there, who rushed for nearly 800 yards a year ago. This is an offense that certainly is going to have to find itself. No Amari Odom, the senior, out for with that torn ACL that he injured back earlier in the year. Second down and 1. Some time now for Clancy, who will find a receiver out near the sideline now, and it's going to be incomplete. Delivered the pass, unable to bring it in was Turner. And it'll be third down now and long for the Catamounts.
And that just shows you Clancy's ability to get the ball down the field. Nice job sitting in the pocket. And just a little bit out out wide, but still he had protection in there, and you can see his potential. And Sean Crocker is very pleased with his development.
You don't want to use the term game manager with Clancy, but they just want him to play within himself and not feel like he has to be Amari Odom. 3rd and 9, he's going to have some time here to deliver the football. He gets it, stands in the pocket, fires downfield, and it's going to be too tall for his intended receiver. That was Air Means, the sophomore.
Well, the offensive line protected up front, plenty of time to throw. There was an opening down the middle of the field, but Leesville closed the gap very quickly, and again, the Pride defense getting off the field.
Reggie Anderson there, one of the linemen. Also Ryan Nea there. And perhaps the most athletic punter in the country now, Tyler Thompson, who averaged 31 yards on 32 punts a year ago, gets this one away quickly. Fair catch called for, and it is made at the 26-yard line. Josiah Gary fielding punts for Leesville. So we'll get our first look at the Leesville Pride starting offense here. And John Mark Shaw, 6'5", could be as tall as 6'6", over 200 pounds, a senior. He's had kind of an interesting career. You mentioned Scott in our open. As you look at Coach Ben Kolstad there, happy with the way his defense has started. A pick six and a 3-and-out. And now his offense will come out less than 2 minutes into this game with an opportunity to add some points on their initial drive on offense. Going to go with DJ Scott. Scott turning the corner. Scott carving up this catamount offense for a rip of 8, maybe 9 yards on first down. And let's look now at the starting lineup. The Air Experts Heating and Cooling starting lineups for Leesville. John Mark Shaw, DJ Scott, but they've got some really good receivers too, Sonny.
Yeah, Braden Rivenbark there. And Simpkins, the tight end as well. And this offensive line is experienced, led by Lassiter, the left tackle, number 55. And Josiah Gary
there for NCDPS. Go to ncdps.gov/careers and start your new career. The first down there, and another opportunity here for our starting lineups defensively. This is Panther Creek. This group is going to have to hang in there in this one, Jay, especially down 7-zip early.
Yeah, exactly. And Trajan Odom, Amari's brother, he's a talented young player. Sean Beckton, the safety, two of their top players.
And DJ Scott, a healthy dose of him here. 3 plays, 3 runs. So much for Ben Kolstad saying that they wanted to kind of open up the offense a little bit, passing the ball. But when it comes down to it, they're going to establish the run early. When you have somebody as talented as that young man, why not?
Well, when you've got him in the backfield and the offensive line can get push up front, you're going to run the ball, but then that'll set up the play action pass when you can go to Josiah Gary.
That one's incomplete. Nice job out in the flats there, and a big lick late on the receiver there. Mohamed Lamaim with the lowering of the boom, and we do have a penalty marker down. And that's going to be an illegal receiver downfield. Maybe a lineman leaked out there.
There's Josiah Gary playing offense and defense, and Ben Kolstad just talked about the game he had last week against Wakefield, how talented of a player he is, and off the field, scholar athlete, just a great kid.
Kolstad in his 4th year. They won 10 games a season ago, including a 45-zip Week 2 victory over the Catamounts at home in a game we were there for Friday Night Rivals. Maiden voyage of the 2020 campaign for our broadcast slate. That'll back up Leesville 5 yards here. And we have them walking off some more yardage here back the other way. It'll be 2nd down. It's going to be back from the original line of scrimmage there. Shaw, 12 out of 17 for 203 yards and 3 touchdowns in their win last week. We'll give it to Scott here. That'll set up 3rd down. Scott had 83 yards on the ground last week, a long run of 17, almost 1,600 yards last year for him. That's going to be face mask penalty against the Catamounts. And it'll bring up a fresh set of downs. You see number 9, Jay, and obviously he's the stud to keep an eye on there. Tyler Thompson, we talked about him and highlighted him in the open. UNC bound. He saw a lot of double teams last week and a lot of the opponents running away from him in their opening season loss to Durham Hillside.
Well, and for him, it's just the battle going against those double teams, finding a way to win, but also that's going to open up opportunities for his teammates to play plays.
Shaw in an empty set takes it himself. And that'll be a first down upcoming here for NCDPS. Go to ncdps.gov/careers and start your new career. NCDPS first down there for John Mark Shaw. You really like this young man, Sonny. And here's someone, he's kind of had an interesting career. He started out playing private school ball, had a huge break on the scene when he played varsity at the independent level, and then started at Broughton and then transferred to Leesville Road. He was hurt last year. Kind of led him in the playoffs as he goes to Scott here on 1st and 10. They're expecting big things from him this season.
And a lot of college coaches are tracking him. With his size, he's got the potential, a strong arm, accurate thrower of the ball. We saw in the previous play his running ability, and he's going to put on so much more muscle mass and get bigger as he gets to the college level. But he's got quick feet. He's a really strong leader, a good kid, and he's the catalyst for this offense.
Threw for 3 scores and also ran for 1 last week. He'll drop here and unload a pass, and it's snared out of the air just shy of the 30-yard line to the 29. What a catch by Gabriel Simpkins, the senior.
I mean, those two, look at this connection. I mean, this is an NFL-type throw. Moves up in the pocket, throws it over the defender, and then Simpkins playing tight end, going out, looks like a wide receiver, hauls it in, keeps his feet in bounds. Great job and concentration by those two.
Scott back on the ground as they come at him with a quick hitter. That'll be a pickup of 5 as the Leesville offense rolling here. They've had the ball for a couple of minutes. Scott again up the middle. Scott will get very close to the 20-yard line. And he's, I think, penetrated the Campbell University red zone. Campbell University leading with purpose. It's also an NCDPS first down. Shaw to the 13. Nice move there to get free by Gary. And then the ball is fumbled. Is it picked up by Panther Creek? Yes, it is. So a break for the Catamounts. One of the big uglies got a paw on it there as it hit the turf. Jacob Williams comes up with a turnover.
That's exactly what Panther Creek needed. Get a big play on the defensive end. Here, nice throw. And then the Catamounts get the strip. Nice job knocking the ball loose and then being around the ball. That's why you swarm to the football. Good things happen. The Catamounts really needed this. Now we'll see if the offense can take advantage of the opportunity.
Was it Reagan that maybe got a helmet in and knocked the ball loose? Catamounts have the football here on first down. They're going to try to grind out some yardage. And they're able to get it across the 15-yard line. Here it is again, the turnover.
Looked like the shoulder pad just hit the ball. Mary Reagan knocked it loose.
Coach Crocker was singing the praises of Reagan in our meeting this week, so likes the way that he was flying to the football there. And even though they were bending, they did not break. The Catamounts have breathed new life into this thing, getting a turnover here early. This ball up in the air. Oh, it is brought down. What a catch in traffic. And it's going to be a NCDPS first down after a dazzling grab by Turner.
Concentration by Turner going over the middle of the field. And Clancy had time to throw it. Good job attacking, going down the field. Tightly contested, but good job by Turner finding a way to haul it in.
Cole Sanye might have been able to tell you what he had for lunch. He was so in his face, huh? Catamounts stay on the ground 1st and 10, and Panther Creek will have a second down coming up. It is so hard to run against Leesville and get any kind of yardage, isn't it?
All 3 levels, there's talent. And Ben Kolstad talked about his linebacking core, how good they are. Jacob Lale coming in for the tackle, along with Tyler Carlson. I mean, this group is really tough to run against, but they're great in pass coverage as well, with Purvis and Lawrence as well. Those 4 linebackers playing this 3-4 defense. A really strong group up front for the Pride.
Pass had to be dragged in from behind and out of bounds with the football. Goes Luton after the grab, stops the clock just inside of 6 minutes to go, first quarter.
Luton is a talented running back. But you can see his athleticism flaring out of the backfield and hauls that pass in. It makes it a manageable 3rd and 3 situation.
Could have gotten a little hairy there for the Catamounts. Four receivers for Clancy to work with here. Goes underneath. And it's going to be a nice move to get free. Midfield, now into Leesville territory. And it's going to be inside the 40-yard line. And NCDPS first down, catch and run. Nice work again by Turner.
Phenomenal job by Turner. He catches it before he gets to the first down marker on a drag route. Clancy finds him and then make a man miss. Nice stiff arm, and then it's the agility, the athleticism that just takes over.
Sonny, let's give some flowers here to the Catamount offensive line because they're allowing Clancy some time, and he's doing what he needs to do to advance the ball up the field. We'll work here on a three-step drop over the middle, and it's going to be picked out of the sky there, intercepted by Saunier, and it'll be the second turnover of the game and the second interception thrown by Clancy.
Your previous point about the offensive line, another good job creating a pocket here. Just a wall up front. The Nico Saunier playing center field just reads it. Good job being in the right place at the right time and coming away with the interception.
Both offenses have had trouble hanging on to the ball here. A couple of turnovers, including a pick six by the junior Clancy. And then the Leesville offense fumbling it as they look on their way to a drive that would have put them up 2 scores. Quick delivery, Shaw gets it to Simpkins, and Simpkins outside the numbers there down the sideline, going to be close to the first down.
Simpkins really brings a nice dimension to this offense. He'll line up as a fullback, tight end. He'll go in motion. Very athletic out of the backfield. Now on that play, a nice job downfield blocking by Braden Rivenbark. Really good job catapulting the open lane for Simpkins to run behind.
CDPS first down. Go to ncdps.gov/careers and start your new career today. Shaw tried to set up the receiver screen, and slipping and falling there was Griffin. So that'll be a loss. Bring up second and 10 upcoming here. Actually, they say it was incomplete. Towering Shaw out there. 62% of his passes he completed last year after being injured. Came in and really sparked Leesville Road in their postseason run. Coming back, making the grab. Nicely done there. That's Jack Short. This last week's game with a broken hand, but the senior on a comeback makes the grab, and they'll advance the football. Another NCDPS first down. Go to ncdps.gov/careers and start your new career.
This is phenomenal job by Short coming back, sealing off the defender, and then focusing to bring it in. And John Mark Shaw, he was looking over to the left, hung in the pocket, and then found Short over to the right side.
Scott reversing field. Scott slashing and cutting. Got down to the 41. Wrapped up defensively by Hakeem Bowen. Gain of 9, second and short upcoming.
The offensive line clearing a path. Really nice job by Lassiter, really. Winstead, Torres, and Mendez up front.
We have encroachment on Panther Creek here while we were in the replay. And that's going to result in an automatic first down. That's something that the Catamounts cannot do. You can't have those kind of mistakes against the Leesville offense that can just hurt you in so many different ways. From the 36. Nice delivery, caught at the 29-yard line. Another really fine grab there from Short.
Still going up tempo, pushing the pace.
Scott close to the first down. It is going to be one, so they'll move the chains. Another NCDPS first down. Sean Crocker at Catamounts. Pick 6 on the third play of the game. Leesville took the lead. They took advantage and forced a turnover, but the Catamounts were unable to capitalize on it. Turnover of their own and another encroachment penalty, Sonny. That's got to be frustrating. Don't like, you know, we do expect a lot of times the early season penalties, but this is kind of a lapse of concentration, it would seem.
Well, early in the season, I mean, you're right. You'll see them more often, but it's the teams that can kind of keep them at a minimum are the ones that really, can limit the mistakes throughout a game. They're going to set themselves up in better positions to win.
That's the crowd here on hand. Here's Shaw. His receiver gets a screen. That's Rivenbark, and Rivenbark will break free, and he'll get a first down. He takes it inside the 15 down to about the 13, 14-yard line. Nice job by Braden Rivenbark there. 4 catches, 30 yards last week in a score. And he ran through a couple of arm tackles there, and he set him up now inside the Campbell University red zone after getting that NCDPS first down.
That was phenomenal by Rivenbark because the guy came up, he had to focus and then did a spin move to get the extra yardage.
Oh, nice catch on the run at the 10. Short, though, was brought down from behind. A really good catch on the move. And then credit Jeremiah Taylor-Jones for Panther Creek. He saved 6.
Just a little out route by Short. Perfect throw by Shaw. You're right, Patrick. Nice tackle right on the goal line.
It's tougher than it looks, isn't it, Sonny?
It is. I mean, that route, knowing once you turn, you're going to get hit, he's still able to focus.
Tough tackle made there in short yardage. And who else? Number 9 comes to the rescue there, Thompson. The time being keeps Scott out of the promised land.
Good job by Thompson staying low. He's so tall, athletic. When he stays low with the long arms, the leverage he can create, he can cause so much disruption. We saw him on the basketball court. One of the most athletic guys you'll see, very quick feet, big competitor.
They move the pocket. Shaw will lob it out. It's caught. And give Nico Sanye 6, the senior, with the grab. And that's a Crabtree Mall touchdown for Leesville Road. Your go-to destination for fashion and food for 50 years. Shop, dine, and explore our 200-plus stores and restaurants in the heart of Raleigh.
Nice job rolling out to the left. That's a tough throw for Shaw, and he finds a wide open Sanye, who had the interception and then now a touchdown for the Crab.
Kick is up, and it is good for Naik. He hit 6 of 7 last week, as booted through to tonight. Shaw with his 4th touchdown pass of the season. It's a 2-score game. Leesville Road on the road, up. It's the lid lifter for our West Shore home Friday night rivals, presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. And how about the tall John Mark Shaw? Cool in the pocket, moved that pocket, threw across his body, and threw his first touchdown pass of the night. Leesville with the 14-zip lead. Watch us over the air or online streaming. I don't know if that young guy's doing that or not, Sonny. I'm not sure. Hard to say, but I'm going to say that he possibly is. By the way, it's time for the American Military University kickoff. AMU, the #1 provider of higher education to the U.S. military. That one into the end zone there for Leesville. Rowan Niek, the junior, or Naik, the junior, I should say, had 3 touchbacks last week in his 8 kickoff attempts, and gets his first one of the night here. Boy, what a weapon that is when you're going to start an offense that has had its issues moving the football, or at least hanging on to the football. More appropriately, you're going to start them at the 20-yard line. Catamounts 0-1. They won 10 games a year ago. The catch made at the 20, and then out for a first down to the 32-yard line, gain of 12. They didn't see DPS first down there off the catch and run by Means. Go to ncdps.gov/careers and start your new career. They're going to run the option there, but he slung it backwards pass, but it's going to result in positive yardage for Marion Turner.
I like the play design. It was a zone read. It faked out the defense, and then the yards after the catch by Turner once he hauled it in.
So that'll get out to the 40-yard line. Clancy has needed a pass there, and he'll operate from the gun here. Got rid of it quickly, but it's incomplete. Obviously, tough to be compared to Amari Odom and all the things that he brought. Odom last year with over 3,700 yards and 40 touchdowns, ran for 5 more. Will Clancy so far, Sonny, if you look at what he's doing delivering the football, yes, he's throwing a couple of interceptions, but he's getting time, and right now he needs some receivers to make some plays for him. Stay on the ground here, second down, and it's a big haul. There goes Luton. Luton with an explosive play. How about a playmaker coming through there for the Catamounts? A huge first down run. Now the Catamounts are in business with just over a minute to go before the end of the first.
Well, and Kalen Luton has that extra gear, the explosiveness. Great job up front by the offensive line, just clearing a path. Ryan Anaya, number 74, leading the way, and then Luton just takes over to flip the field.
For the Catamounts at the Campbell University red zone, Campbell University leading with purpose. Went back to Kalen Luton there. Long run last year was the long run from scrimmage for the Catamounts, 43 yards. That was a huge burst there. It has them set up shop here. And now Clancy keeps it himself. Nice fake. Clancy got drilled, though, as he took it down to the 5.
Great play call with the zone read. Faked it to Luton. Everyone's eyes went over to Luton. Then Clancy just held it, went around the edge. But how about the offensive line? Williams, Gano, McGriff, Anaya, and Anderson really settling in and getting push up front.
So first and goal, Clancy. Luton, tough catch, breaks a tackle, lunges. Did he get in? No, he's down to the 1. Oh, what an extra effort to get through that tackle. He almost scored.
The second catch on the game. And just fought through the tackles.
Sonny, he might have got in.
Yeah.
See if that'll be the final play of the quarter. Panther Creek with an opportunity to cut this lead in half. They're going to run a play as Clancy goes under center. And Luton into the end zone for 6. A Crabtree ball touchdown for Kalen Luton at Panther Creek, your go-to destination for fashion and food for 50 years. Shop, dine, and explore our 200-plus stores and restaurants in the heart of Raleigh.
That's how you close out the quarter. Offensive line, the left side, just clears the path in this drive with Luton, the passing of Clancy, the O-line all working together. They put it together to get on the board.
Ravon Jafari out to attempt the extra point here. He hit 45 out of 52 a season ago. 1 for 1 this season. It is going to be good. So we'll head to the second, and Panther Creek gets on the board. After being shut out in the second half last week, they've cut this Leesville lead in half after 1 on the West Shore Home Friday Night Rivals, presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling.
Well, this game has definitely gotten exciting. Panther Creek sideline is blowing up down here. And earlier this week, we talked to Coach Crocker about what's really important to him, and he said he took from years at UNC.
Well, our American Military University kickoff about to commence here. Thank you, Alexa. AMU, the #1 provider of higher education to the U.S. military. As we get underway, it's a 14-7 game. Yeah, what she was talking about there is you had a secondary coach, Bruce Johnson, who was really one of the hardest coaches on him in his time at UNC and really shaped the kind of coach he has become today. As the kick comes to Leesville here, and Leesville Road bringing it out to the 27-yard line. Jay, he said that they had the hardest position coach, and he came in the spring of Crocker's freshman year at UNC, and they would have to run Coach Crocker and his Tar Heel teammates in the secondary from station to station, and Coach Johnson would run 5 miles a day. So even these great college athletes who were thoroughbreds that could run so fast, they had to really haul tail to beat Coach Johnson to where they were going from station to station. And he said the players hated him, but you ended up loving him and respecting him after you played for him for 4 years.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you respect it after the fact, but the thing, the coaches don't understand is, these guys have pads on. So Coach Crocker was running from practice to practice. Then when they had a break, they had to run again. And usually it's in, hot situations. So I've been in those practice days where you're going full speed, you have no breaks, but it does build that toughness, and he had so much respect for his college coach.
Scott, after the 5-yard penalty on Leesville, and he's not able to get a whole lot there. It'll bring up second down. Sonny, one thing you've got to really give Panther Creek credit. We saw it last year in their resiliency. They did not look like a team that was on the same page last year. And they ended up going to the 4th round of the playoffs. Here tonight, an inauspicious start. But right now, they're in this thing 14-7 after a very spirited drive to end the first. Misdirection there with Serrano, the junior, on a jet sweep. And Panther Creek sniffed it out. Jay, if you see more guys up front starting to make plays, I think you're going to see Thompson really start to have an opportunity to disrupt games.
And Thompson was over on the right side of the offensive line, now switching over to the left, going against the right tackle. So the defensive staff has switched him up, and he's getting more pressure into the backfield.
And the ball on the turf, rolled back. Serrano able to get back on it, but a miscommunication there with Sean Serrano. I think it may have been Scott who had hit off of action.
Sean Robinson right on the edge, staying in position. Good job keeping his base and trying to get the turnover.
4th down and a loss of 4. The punt upcoming. Brock Winstead handling the punting this week, and Gabe Simpkins snapping. It was the exact opposite last week. Okay, this may be a game that has 2 of the largest punters in the country. Off a bounce at the 40-yard line. And a return of 5 on the punt. We'll set things up off the Turner return for Leesville. Good field position for Panther Creek when we return. The West Shore Home Friday Night Rivals, presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. Stay tuned for the Talking Out NC halftime report. We'll have this week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar athletes participating school interviews with the principals, highlights, and a lot more. Talk It Out NC. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. Patrick Johnson, Jay Sunalder, and Alexa Kay with you. Headed to a Bull City matchup next week on a special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Rivals. Southern Durham and Northern Durham. And here we have a sack, and for the first time since early in the game, Lewis leaving an imprint on this one as he got to the quarterback.
Xavier Lewis, coaching staff, heaped so much praise on the young sophomore. Look at number 6, just bull rush and then just getting into the backfield with true power. He's a wrestler as well. Just perfect technique to get in the backfield.
Look like Brock Lesnar there, Sonny, if you're talking about wrestling. Oh, you mean high school wrestling, not wrestling.
Yeah, he's a wrestler.
Loss of 6. Another one of those plays were on the read option where he heaves it out to his left. It's going to result in big yards there as Garrity takes it for a first down and then some into Pride territory.
And there's going to be a flag.
It didn't look pretty, Sonny, but it was effective.
This looks to be a late hit, I believe, but Bradley Garrity, great job. College prospect, outstanding junior season. And I think this is going to go against Leesville.
Great job by this crew here tonight. Pride have won 5 in a row over the Catamounts in this series overall. And a bit of an uncharacteristic penalty from Leesville there. You're usually so disciplined on defense side.
This was a zone read. It looked like Clancy was going to run and then gets it to the outside, and Garrity, yards after the catch, you get the penalty, and now the field position is flipped.
I don't think it was a hit as much, Sonny, as it was Snelling kind of stood up over him. Clancy moving the pocket. Goes underneath, but it's off the fingertips of his intended target and out of bounds.
Pass intended for Nari Means, number 5 of Panther Creek. It is incomplete.
Ari Deans couldn't bring that one in. No Amari Odom, as we talked about, the 6'5", 180-pound senior. LV still very much interested, but there's a lot of wait and see with him right now. And Jay, this is a team that Clancy's done a fine job here tonight. It's been a little uneven for him at times, but he's going against a very aggressive defense with one of the better fronts in all of the region. He'll hand the football off here, and it's Luton lunging ahead. Takes it inside the 30-yard line, but you have to really think, if Odom were here and healthy, this would certainly be an offense that probably would churn out a lot of points. They averaged over 30 per game last year after a slow start.
Well, Amari Odom's a special talent, and college coaches are tracking him in his recovery, but I think he's going to be an outstanding player at the college level, and whatever school he goes to is going to just have a great player in person that I think has a bright future. And Sean Crocker, you know, is talked about his potential at the next level. He just thinks it's unlimited.
11th season for Sean Crocker. He's 3-6 against Leesville all time. They dialed up some pressure on 3rd down. Clancy got rid of it quickly and unloaded it to Garrity. It'll be 4-down territory here for the Catamounts, as we're not quite 5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter.
And Garrity is so skilled with his route running, going over the middle, and now it's a manageable situation on 4th down. I believe this is correct. You got to go for it. And I would look for number 4 and number 20 out of the backfield. Those two, I go to one of them.
Clancy gives it to Luton. Luton with a good surge up front. It's going to be close. Going to depend on the spot. Hanging on for dear life was Matthew Lawrence there, the junior, and Leesville says they came up with a stop. Shy just a yard was Kalen Luton there, Jay.
And he had good push. He plowed through, kept his feet moving. How about the defensive line, the front 7 for Leesville? Nice job with the stick initially. Matthew Lawrence, number 9. And other Pride defenders coming over to help out, but a good job filling the lane and making the tough tackle.
Elijah Mickey also there for the stop. So Leesville gets the football back after the Catamounts turned it over on downs. That's going to be lost yardage there. Nothing doing for Serrano.
No feet on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Catamounts.
Starting to see a little more activity, especially up front with Tyler Thompson. See him, number 9 there, near side of your screen. Down for UNC and Mac Brown. There's a lot of really talented defensive ends last year and this year that we are seeing in the first couple of weeks of the season who are headed to Tar Heel Town. That's a completion. And now 3rd and 10. See what happens here with Shaw. Consider him to be the best non-committed quarterback in the state. The Broughton transfer. On a 3rd down and long. This is a chance for him to step up and make a play. Shaw with the pocket collapsing around him, stands in. It's in the air. It's batted around. Is it intercepted or did it hit the turf? I think it's picked off, and it is. It was pinballed around and then intercepted, taken by Simmons. Buchanan Simmons finally came up with it for the Catamounts.
Buchanan Simmons just stayed with it. Pressure by the defensive line. Trajan Odom coming through there to close the pocket, and then this ball just ricochets off 3, 4, 5 guys. And then Simmons makes the play to haul it in.
Off the hands of Gray, or Gary make that, and nice concentration there by that young man.
Braylon Lamar as well. Broke it up. It's a good job by those guys in coverage.
Tough catch. The 23-yard line.
Nice focus by Luton. Purvis came over to make the tackle, but that ball almost hit the ground. It was tipped initially. Give a lot of credit to Panther Creek. They're down 14-0 and then fought through the adversity, and now 33-yard line with an opportunity potentially to tie up the ball game.
Last week, Leesville Road was +2 on the turnover margin. They're even here as a big hit was laid there that time. Bringing the wood was Jamari Wright. And he just smacked Garrity there.
So this is how you play defensive back. You got to be in coverage, and then looks like it's a run, and then now you got to come up and make a play. Good job wrapping up and being physical.
That version of the read option with the throw, Jay, that is really the first time we've seen kind of a receiver hung out to dry for the first time in this game. That's a tough play for if you're catching the football. 3rd and 6. Over the middle, and it'll be the 3rd interception tonight by Leesville. Again, it's picked off by Nico Sanye, and Sanye out across the 40, out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
2 interceptions, playing center field, had a touchdown as well. He's had a great first half. He just read the eyes. He felt the coverage, saw where the receivers were at, and then just jumps in the passing lane. It was a post route. Looked like he was going over the top, but Sanye just split the difference and made the play.
Sanye with his 2nd pick of the game. Jay noted he already has a touchdown on offense, one of those two-way players for Leesville. And now after the Shaw interception, they'll stay on the ground with Scott. Thompson in the neighborhood again. Been a lot more active tonight. And then, Jay, you also have pointed out there a real up-and-comer in Mari Odom's younger brother.
He's a talented young player, and he's a guy that's on the radar for college coaches. He can play tight end as well on both sides of the field. Number 88 right in the middle of the defensive line.
Got some studs up front. Shaw, quick delivery out to the 48. No, it's incomplete. Nice job to step in defensively there and create some havoc. That's Lamine again, who had the interception a little earlier.
Number 11 of Leesville, Jack Short, broken up by number 28, Muhammad Lamine.
Lamine with his 2nd pass breakup of the game. Now 2nd down and 10. Hey, is this a little bit about maybe the Leesville Road offense for the Pride is a little off kilter, or is this something that the Catamounts are doing?
Well, I think the secondary and the defensive line are really playing off of each other. The defensive line's getting more pressure, getting in the backfield. This is an athletic group. The back end of the defense for the Catamounts, it just looks like they're reading passing lanes, and once they got down 14-0, it looked like they just said, hey, we've got to turn it on. And they're playing faster, flowing to the football, and reading their keys.
A little confusion on the Leesville side of things right now. And Gabe Simpkins is going to punt. Now, he punted last week, but he's going to be the long snapper here, and it will be the punter again. Winstead, who handled the long snapping duties last week. Comes a flag for delay. And all this really does is just give them a little more room to kick with here. It actually improves the field position potentially for the Catamounts.
Winstead's last punt was impressive. I mean, he hit a moonshot. Plays center as well on the offensive line. Really good player. Physical up front. One of the leaders of the group.
See what Turner can do here for Panther Creek. Another good leg in it. It'll take the members bounce and roll inside down to the 23-yard line. That's going to be a 37-yard punt with no return. West Shore home Friday night rival presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. Good one here between Leesville and Panther Creek. In the creek tonight, hot humid day. Storms to our north and west. But it is going to be okay here this evening. Patrick Johnson, Jay Sunhalter, Alexa Kay, our entire crew. Great job by them to get us situated here tonight for the broadcast. And you see whatever you can as a fan to try to stay cool. Always time and weather for a selfie, undoubtedly. As Panther Creek, Clancy on the run. Nice job to bring it in and out of bounds just across the 35-yard line. That is going to be Bradley Garrity.
And Patrick, Panther Creek is starting to run these zone reads with the option to throw, and that's what's really opened up this offense, is that threat.
That's a myspot.nc.gov first down, your spot for COVID-19 protection. Garrity last year, 85 catches, 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Will be slung again on the run, and it'll be a first down and more. On his way to the end zone for Panther Creek, and give him 6. It's a touchdown for Turner. And we're an extra point away from being tied up following that Crabtree Mall touchdown. Your go-to designation for fashion and food for 50 years. Shop, dine, and explore our 200-plus stores and restaurants in the heart of Raleigh.
Nice pass by Clancy, and then Turner. He's got the explosiveness, the special skill, and he just turns it on. Nobody can catch up. And a nice job with the play calling, getting the ball to the outside. And we've talked about Turner tonight, his yards after the catch. Just simple pass to the outside, and then Turner makes one man miss, and then he goes all the way.
So we're tied now, and it's a brand new ball game with just over 3 minutes to go before halftime. Well, stay tuned for the Talk It Out NC halftime report. We'll have this week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athletes, an interview with participating schools and their principal, highlights, and much more. Talk It Out NC. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. Sean Crocker's group got off to probably as bad a start as you would want to get off to in the home opener. Third play of their first possession, and it was a pick 6. But they have hung in there, drew it to a one-score game at the end of the first quarter. And now we're tied here, and Coach Crocker working really hard to try and keep his group in this one. They've been able to kind of massage this thing out. Now, Jay, seems like they've got a lot of momentum on their side here at home.
Well, they've made some adjustments, and Sean Crocker is such a great coach, leader for the program. The kids all look up to him, and his team focused in. They locked in, and it didn't go well at the start, but they've stayed with it and showed their grit. The offensive side, the zone read with the option to pass is what's changed the game on the offensive end. And then the defensive side, I mean, it just looks like, you know, kind of took them a while to get going. And then they're playing so much faster, it seems, once they got to the second quarter and the offense picked it up. It seems like it kind of helped them as well to pick up their speed on their end of the field.
Time now for the American Military University kickoff. AMA, the #1 provider of higher education to the U.S. military. Fari's kicked it ugly, taken from the 14-yard line, and it'll be returned out to the 38. So a nice return. Jacob Lale there, and an opportunity for Leesville Road to come out. Sonny, what do you think the Pride need to do here to kind of get back on track? They had it going really well early on, had a good balance going, but it just seems like they've maybe been a little too reliant on the pass, perhaps?
Well, they really had it going when they were running the ball, going downhill. First play, power run. I think we're going to see Leesville Road go back to pounding the ball up the middle and then try to hit the shot over the top of the play action pass. Ben Kolstad's group, such a great year last year, going to the 4th round of the playoffs. Such a consistent program year in, year out. They're always going deep, and he's got the respect of his players.
Scott gets a first down run to midfield. And that'll move the chains. That's a myspot.nc.gov first down, your spot for COVID-19 protection. Scott again. Picks up 4 to the 45.
We talked about running the ball. It looks like they're just going to bully ball. Run the ball. Get Simpkins in there, the tight end. And just try to move back the defensive line.
Have a timeout taken. Just shy of 2 minutes here before halftime.
The Panther Creek Athletic Booster Club would like to thank both of our sponsors. Athletic Republic is not simply a place to work out. It is where better catamount athletes are made. Highly qualified trainers. Science-driven regiments.
Well, next Thursday, a special edition of West Shore Home Friday Night Rivals, presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling, Northern Durham and Southern Durham. Joe Simmons, the former NC Central running star, will join Alexa and myself for that one. And Sonny, you talk about Southern Durham, another program that has got some talent all through the roster.
That game with Jabron Harvey, you talked about the UNC connection. Bo Atkinson, edge rusher for Leesville. He's over at UNC now. Tyler Thompson, edge rusher for Panther Creek this week, and the next week will be Jabron Harvey of Southern Durham. Anthony Mabane, with other defensive ends committed to Appalachian State. That's a big rivalry with Northern Durham and Southern Durham.
It'll be Thursday night, 7 o'clock right here for our Friday night rivals. It looked like a second may have elapsed off the clock there. And Coach Kolstad pointing that out. They're trying to get that straightened out now. So they were adding time. Shaw, 2nd and 6. And that was almost intercepted. These are some sticky guys in the secondary for Panther Creek. And we have a penalty marker down on top of that. It's going to be a hold against Leesville Road. And Official not wanting to hear a whole lot from them. I think there's a little bit of frustration maybe settling in for the Pride here, Sonny. That's going to be after the ball penalty, after the play penalty, and they should offset one another. Make no mistake, Sonny, even though Leesville's won 5 in a row in this series, they've played in the same conference before. I mean, this has a rivalry feel to it. They meet annually. These opposing sides know each other pretty well.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of familiarity, and then with this being a non-conference games, you know, I was talking with both coaches. They both believe in facing tough opponents that are going to make you better, especially at the start of the season. And each coach respects each other so much in their program and what this competition does to improve their team.
Leesville off next week. They'll play at Southern Durham on the 9th. Panther Creek, the hit to keep on rolling. They'll take on Durham Jordan and our old buddy Justin Allred, that offensive-minded head coach, next week. Trying to get the ledger even here, though, at 1-1. Now Gary with some room, and Gary quickly darting out of bounds, and 11 seconds elapsed off the clock there on that play.
And a good job getting the star wide receiver Josiah Gary involved. Nice block out front by Rivenbark. And Gary goes down the sideline tiptoeing. He's playing offense, defense, and also we've seen him as a kick returner. He's a scholar athlete, just a great kid and a guy college coaches are tracking.
iSpot.nc.gov, first down there for Leesville. Shaw will go to the air again. No, he'll flee the pocket. Now guns, incomplete. Wanted Gary there. One of the linebackers back in coverage with the Catamounts. Johnson, a nice job to get a paw on it and knock it down.
John Mark Shaw standing next to him down on the field pregame. He is 6'5", 6'6", those long arms. But his frame, he's going to be able to put on even more weight at the college level. Already a very strong arm, but he's just going to continue to develop.
2nd and 10 here. He'll take off and run. And will dart out of bounds for a first down. He gets inside the red zone here, so it'll be a red zone attempt here for the Leesville offense. What a heady play to scramble for the yardage to pick up a first.
And I love his ability. He looks down the field. He's not looking to run, looking to find an open wide receiver. The pocket collapses, and then his talent just takes over. Very fast and elusive as he gets out of bounds.
So on myspot.nc.gov, first down there, your spot for COVID-19 protection. So setting up inside the Campbell University red zone. Campbell University leading with purpose. .94 seconds remaining. Kolstad, someone who comes from a lineage of football coaches, particularly in Wisconsin. Brother was an defensive coordinator for him as they fumble again. A ball on the snap there. It has been a hard time tonight hanging on to the ball for both sides. DJ Scott was able to retrieve it and able to muscle for a yard or two to try to avoid what would have been several yards lost. He's able to gain just a couple there, but man, they've had a difficult time tonight, Jay. And let's take a look at it, see what happened. It was just a bad snap that time.
You know, and a good job just being aware of where the ball went, and then getting, you know, a couple yards there moving forward. Scott did. But here in this situation, obviously the goal is, hey, we got to score a touchdown. But also, too, you want to milk this clock and leave Panther Creek with no time left. But for Leesville, you had the great first quarter. Second quarter, you know, the tide turned, but this is where you can gain the momentum going into the halftime break if you can capitalize on this opportunity and get some points on the board.
Well, Panther Creek here has done a great job tonight of hanging in there and being tough and making this a brand new ball game. Their defense has been gutsy after getting gashed early on. They've only allowed one offensive touchdown tonight. Pick six was the game's first score for Leesville. It's a big moment for Shaw here. Second down and long as he'll operate out of the shotgun. Put the ball in his hands to make a play, and he will slide ahead maybe a yard or two before he is dropped. Again, there swarming around the ball was Rashawn Robinson.
You have to give a lot of credit to Robinson and also the secondary. There was nowhere to go with the ball. The back end of the defense was in the perfect position as far as coverage goes, blanketing the Pride wide receivers.
Leesville with a timeout remaining, 3rd and 12 after the gain of 2. Pass is caught, 15-yard line. Gary, and they'll burn their final timeout, you would think, here with 4th down upcoming.
Phenomenal, yeah, phenomenal route by Gary. He cut in and then went back out. Got enough separation for the completion, and then now it'll be a decision time here. Do you go for the field goal or go for it on 4th down? But Shaw, nice protection up front, good pass, and then Gary holds on to it. The offensive line, Kareem Mendez, the right tackle, very strong on the right side on the edge. A clean pocket to throw the ball.
Taylor Jones, a good job to wrap him up as soon as he made the catch defensively. So Panther Creek has to feel really good about where they are. This is within Rowan Naik's range, assuredly. But it would be his first field goal attempt of the season. Would be a 30-yarder, Sonny, so they have confidence in their junior kicker. Looks like that they're going to give him an opportunity to put 3 on the board. He'll operate out of the hold of Max Short. Brother was a holder for this Leesville program. Going to have a slight angle. And a great work there by our camera crew, taking it right inside your living room or on your mobile device. It's up. And we have a 17-14 game.
Field goal for Leesville is good.
Early season, Sonny, that is conceptually a lot more difficult to execute than you think.
The snap, the hold, the kick. You know, of course you want the touchdown, but for Leesville Road, you use the clock, only 37 seconds left. You have the trust in your special teams unit. They come through, give you the lead. I think that's a confidence-boosting drive to execute. Then now for Leesville, you hope you can close out this half, get to the break, and make adjustments.
So Ben Kolstad's team now a 17-14 lead. They were 10-3, a 4th-round contender last year in the playoffs. They averaged over 280 yards of offense a season ago. Mentioned they were +2 on the turnover margin coming in tonight. They have turned it over a couple of times, but they have also forced 3 turnovers. And despite all of that, Jay, both sides, I think there are a lot of positives you can take going into halftime. Certainly a lot of areas to correct, but there are some things you can talk about that have been positive if you're the coaching staff for these respective teams.
Well, I think that's the takeaways. I think both coaching staffs should be very positive about, hey, this is what we did well, but hey, if we clean up these areas, then we can take over this ball game. But early on in the season, you're going to expect some of these penalties, some of the mistakes. But I think both sides would agree. It's evident the talent and the players that they have. I mean, these guys are out here making plays, and when I look at both teams, I see teams that have the potential to go deep in the playoffs.
American Military University kickoff sails out of bounds. So after the errant kickoff goes out of bounds, they'll scrimmage from the 35-yard line. Panther Creek electing to take it there and assess the penalty rather than have Leesville kick it again. Clancy goes underneath as he wanted a receiver long, went to Garrity, and Garrity is snowed under. And forward progress will give him a gain of 4. Creek burns one of their timeouts here. They have a couple remaining.
Yeah, Lawrence and Carlson, two of the linebackers, again in the perfect position, coming over, making the play, not allowing Garrity with that game-breaking speed to get down the sideline.
Well, Leesville is so fundamental defensively. Rarely do you ever catch them in the wrong place. If you're doing what we've seen the Catamounts do here tonight, you're earning it against them defensively with explosion plays. But if you're relying on them to make a mistake, they're rarely going to do it.
And you look at the defense and you see speed, but you also see the smarts. I mean, they are in the perfect position. They play hard. They flow to the football. And their technique, I mean, these guys are well-versed, so well-coached. Ben Polstad does an amazing job with this team. And he was just heaping praise on them, not only their talent, but the leaders they are at the school and how well-rounded they are and the type of kids they are. And it shows on the field. I mean, this defense, it was so strong last year, and so much faith in them again this year as well.
He's won the Cap 6. Of course, the defending state champs, Cardinal Gibbons, who we'll see in a couple of weeks against Wake Forest in a titanic matchup in West Raleigh, will obviously be vying for the crown in that league. Clancy here, as it on 2nd and 10, steps up, delivers a nice strike to the 48-yard line. First down yardage and then some more. As that'll be a gain into Leesville territory again. Really good grab there by Sergio Castellon. Castellon breaking free of the tackle. And he's down at the 49 after the myspot.nc.gov first down, your spot for COVID-19 protection.
Castellon focused. He knew he was going to get hit. It was a deep in route. The offensive line gave Clancy enough time. Sean Crocker, his team sitting around the 50-yard line, around 16 seconds. They still have time. They won 1 to 2 more plays. You can get into field goal range. This offense, though, they can strike downfield very quickly.
Jafari has never missed a field goal in his career. 3 for 3 last year, hit 1 last week. I think, though, you're thinking 6 here if you're Panther Creek right now, right?
That's the goal. You want to get in the end zone. But also knowing that you've got a kicker that has confidence and he's come through in clutch situations, always a great option as well.
Panther Creek with that timeout in their back pocket. They'll run the bubble screen, but it's coughed up and fumbled, taken by Leesville Road, picked up off the ground after it was jarred loose. Jamari Wright was there.
Is recovered by number 23.
Nice play design, and then Lewis, he had the interception. He strips it here. Just an outstanding start to this game for number 6 for Leesville. The turnovers for the Pride have been a huge part of this first half.
Yeah, 4 of them here in the first half. Xavier Lewis has been everywhere. Wow. So with 6 ticks remaining, Coach Kolstad, I'm sure, will have his group take a knee here and go into halftime up 3. And they do. 4 first half turnovers for Panther Creek, yet they're only down 3 points at home.
That's the end of the first half. With your score, Leesville Road 17, Panther Creek 14.
A 17-14 game between Leesville, who've won 5 in a row in the series, and Panther Creek in their home opener, trying to move to 1-1 on the year. Down 14-0 in this game, tied it up. And we're moving the football near the end of the half before committing that fourth turnover of the contest. West Shore home Friday night rivals presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. And let's go now to Alexa Kay at the half. Alexa.
Hey guys, I am down here with Coach Kolstad. This has been an electric game so far, back and forth across the field. Xavier Lewis has been all over the place. Tell us what your team is doing that you have been up at the half.
Well, I feel like we're sluggish right now. I feel like, we're tired. We're just not playing physical football right now and making too many mistakes, turning the ball over and missing tackles.
So what is going to be your message going into the locker room and coming back out at the second half?
Just back to the basics. Let's be physical. Let's block. Let's tackle. Get bodies to the ball. We'll be ready to go.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Coach. Back to you, Patrick.
All right, great job, Alexa. Thank you, Coach Kolstad. In his fourth year, he is 3-0 all time against Panther Creek. Will have a heck of a battle on his hands here in the second half to move to 4-0. West Shore home Friday night rivals presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. And stay tuned. Our Talk It Out NC halftime report straight ahead.
You're watching the Talk It Out NC halftime report, and now it's time for the Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week. Presenting the award for Tatum and Atkinson is Season Atkinson.
Tatum and Atkinson is proud to present the Friday Night Rivals Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week from Leesville High School, Josiah Gary. Josiah is all-conference honorable mention, football team captain, and carries a 4.16 GPA. Josiah is also a state qualifying sprinter and attended the Cap 6 Leadership Summit. From Panther Creek High School, David Tater. David is a member of the 4A State Championship runner-up basketball team, the area's most accurate three-point shooter, and carries a 4.02 GPA. David teaches youth gymnastics and volunteers with Rise Against Hunger.
Congratulations to our Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athlete of the Week.
This All-Star is now entered for a $5,000 scholarship at the end of the season.
And congratulations to our Scholar Athletes of the Week. And we have our principal here with us, and we're going to ask him a few questions. So how are you doing today?
Wonderful. What a beautiful night, huh?
I know, it actually turned out perfect.
Better than last night, for sure. So.
Oh, yeah, that rain was we were not feeling that. Oh, I just wanted to ask you, what event or what is exciting going on at the school this year?
We're just excited just to have the kids back. I mean, our enrollment is just growing. We're close to 2,500 students. Getting classes ready, getting the school ready for them. We're just ready to go. We're excited for this year.
I love that. Everybody's pumped up. Okay, so my next thing is, what does it mean to have Friday Night Rivals here tonight to your school?
You can't ask for anything better. I mean, this is the second game of the season. We're all pumped up. The kids are going to come back. We're going to fill the school and fill the bleachers just like we have now, and we're just excited. I've known Leesville for a long time, the principal, and Ben Kolstad. I hired him as a head football coach at another high school, so they're family. But it's really nice to watch us fight and be great friends at the same time. So.
I love it. Well, we'll see how it battles out. And again, thank you, Principal Decker. We are lovely to have you tonight, and back to you guys. Welcome back to the NC Talk It Out halftime report. And we are here with Jacob Wirtz of North Shore Homes. How is it being a member of this community and being a part of Friday Night Rivals?
Absolutely. So high school football is the fabric of the community. So West Shore Home is just so excited to be a part of that and give back to the Cary area and the student athletes and the cheerleaders and just the families in general.
Absolutely, I love that. I definitely feel like there's such a community sense about football, and I think you guys feel the same way at West Shore Homes. So we love that. Well, what else, what's important to you guys also about being out here tonight and being at this game in specifically?
Giving back to the community. One of our core values is to be exceptional teammates, and I think football really goes right in line with that, with the teammates and being exceptional on the football field. On the football and off the field as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think football means community, and it definitely means teamwork. So you guys are on the right page.
Definitely. We're excited to be here. Can't wait for the Friday nights moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being with us, and we will be back with you guys at Friday Night Rivals.
Chalk Talk here. It's the Talk It Out NC halftime report. Leesville with a 3-point edge over Panther Creek as they are meeting yet again here in a regular season matchup. It has gone to the early season, second week, as they are no longer conference foes, but a heated rivalry nonetheless. Patrick Johnson, Jay Sunholder, Alexa Kay, our entire crew for Friday Night Rivals here with you. It's great to have you along. Well, Jay, just some quick thoughts on the first half here, because certainly a spirited first half. Football a little sloppy at times. Whoever I think can button things up in the second half has a great chance to capture this.
Well, it'll be about cleaning up those mistakes. Whoever limits the turnovers, the penalties, will be who wins this game. But the first half, I was impressed with the explosive plays and also the adversity that each team faced. They found a way to respond. I mean, Leesville started off the first quarter on fire. Panther Creek took the second quarter. Leesville going into the halftime break, they got that drive, and then finally getting 3 points across with their special teams unit to get the lead. But Panther Creek, after initially being down 14-0, big plays on the offensive side, Clancy making some tough throws, and their defense really picking things up as the second quarter progressed.
Let's take a look at some of the first half highlights here at the break. And Sonny, early on, the defense leaving an impression on this one. The pick six for big Xavier Lewis.
Xavier Lewis, first two plays he had tackles, and then in coverage, the defensive tackle shows off his athleticism. Only a sophomore. What a skill set he has.
For John Mark Shaw, he got things going. And Leesville on their way on a nice throw as he moved the pocket for 6.
Yeah, throwing the ball over to Saunier for the touchdown. Shaw really showed off his athleticism, the strong arm, and then Luton breaks through the middle, and this is what really changed the momentum for Panther Creek.
So a big run by Luton got things going, and then Will Clancy got him ever so close near the end of the first quarter, a yard out. They make it a 14-7 game with Luton taking it in for 6.
And they really gave him the ball on the ground through the air. That really helped out the offense. And then it was the zone read with the option to throw, and Clancy took that option, and he made some big plays. This was Turner with a long touchdown, and it really gave the Catamounts some confidence.
Wouldn't be in the highlight package, Sonny, but this is the kick that gave Leesville the lead. 17-14, nice executed play. Not going to be in the highlight package, but there were 6 first half turnovers between these teams. Let's look at the other first half statistics.
Oh, very similar on the ground. Now, the passing, Panther Creek had the big plays through the air, but the difference was the turnovers. Leesville Road only 2, Panther Creek with 4. That's why the Pride have the lead.
Panther Creek getting it done through the air here. Clancy has looked really good, and 229 yards to 189 for Leesville in that first half. So there's a look at the numbers from the opening half. Right now, our Alexa Kay is standing by with Coach Crocker for Panther Creek.
Hey, guys. Hey, Coach. Thank you for stepping aside and taking a minute to talk to us. So started out a little bit tough, but you guys really rallied and are really attacking the ball. What was the message that you said to your guys in the locker room?
Well, you know, we want to take care of the ball. We want to be aggressive. We picked it up a little bit, you know, toward the middle of the first quarter. So we want to continue to attack and be able to make adjustments on the fly.
Thank you so much for being with us. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Back to you, Patrick.
John Crocker, all business. Appreciate him taking a few minutes with us here. Great hustle down there by Alexa, give both coaches. Should be an interesting second half. Sonny and I and Alexa will all bring it to you, so don't you dare go away. This has been our Talk It Out NC halftime report. West Shore Home Friday Night Rivals presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. And we have a 3-point game as we're about to start the third quarter. Well, next week, a special edition of Friday Night Rivals on a Thursday as the Northern Durham Knights take on the Southern Durham Spartans, 7 o'clock on Thursday. Right here, we hope you'll join us as Joe Simmons from NC Central, their great running back, will be joining us on the broadcast. Alexa and myself will greet you from the Bull City, along with Joe, coming up on Thursday, 7 o'clock. Right now, Jay Stunhalter alongside here. Patrick Johnson, Alexa Kay, our entire crew. So, Sonny, as you look at this second half, what would you say are the adjustments that both sides need to make?
Well, for Panther Creek, they've got to stop the turnovers. They've got to protect the football and find a way just to hold on to it and maintain their drives. I think on the defensive side, keep doing what you're doing there in the second quarter. Now, for Leesville, I think they've got to go back to the running game. Lean on DJ Scott, your star senior, your big offensive line. And then on the defensive side, they're playing their 3-4 defense and really doing a nice job in coverage, but they've got to find a way, I think, to get some more pressure on Will Clancy. The first couple drives, they had pressure on him, and then he settled in. That D-line has to continue to get penetration.
So Jafari will kick the football off. Leesville has a rotation of guys that return kicks, so they have a fresh set of returnmen back there all the time. It's time for the American Military University second half kickoff. AMU, the #1 provider of higher education to the U.S. military.
Here comes Jafari out for the kickoff for the second half.
Panther Creek trying to get to 1-1 on the year, down 3 as we start the second. 20-yard line, the return. And wrestled down just across the 30. Nice job there defensively by Winston Webb as Jacob Lale turned it 11 yards.
Winston Webb, ball on the 30-yard line, 1st and 10, Leesville.
Quite a first half between these two here. And I think, Sonny, if we thought before the game that Shaw would have less passing yards at halftime than Clancy, we might have been a little puzzled at that. Shaw delivers on first down here, and it'll be a gain of 2.
Pass is complete number 14.
Potential cramp.
Yep. Reception by Rivenbark, and now on this hot, humid night, gonna have to work out a cramp here on the Panther Creek side of things. But as I was saying, Sonny, if you thought that Shaw would have almost less than half the yards that Clancy does passing in the first half, and you're still up, either Scott's had a big night for you, or you've done some things to find yourself ahead and maybe feel like you've left some opportunities on the board if you're Leesville.
Yeah, well, I think here in the second half, you're going to see Leesville go back to the ground game. But then Ben Kolstad talked to us about really how they can open up the playbook because of the talent of Shaw and the receiving group and his trust in the offensive line holding up. So I think we'll see them really be aggressive through the air, but I think they're going to set it up with their ground game.
Kolstad not afraid to make changes. Went with Shaw going into the playoffs. His current offensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator midway through last season, Nick Bender, who comes to them out of the military, really highly organized. It'll be 3rd down here and about 3, maybe 4. And another encroachment penalty going against Panther Creek. That'll be a free first down for Leesville, and they'll move the chains.
Another note we talked about with Ben Kolstad was the offensive line and how big and strong they are with his group. When you look at that unit, all 5 guys up there. It's Lassiter, the junior, number 55, the top junior, and then over on the inside, Lilly, Winstead, along with Torres and Mendez over on the right side. This is a talented group that's continuing to get better every week.
And a first down run after the Penalty was picked up on first down. DJ Scott starting to get it going. That first down there for ncdps.gov/careers. You can start your new career today.
And the vision of Scott just running behind Simpkins, the tight end pulling. He has such a good feel running through tacklers and picking up the first down on this play.
Scott again, and you're right, another first down. Taylor Jones, the tackle.
And you just kind of get that feeling coming out of the halftime break. The offense, the group up front, the running game was saying, hey guys, we're going to get this ball and we're going to drive it down, impose your will. And right now they're keeping it on the ground.
We have it into Catamount territory, and right now they're just pounding Panther Creek. Scott with another carry. Second down.
For the Pride, you get the field goal at the end of the half. Then as Panther Creek is driving, you get the turnover. If you can put points on the board here, you're really going to kind of regain the momentum that you created at the start of the ball game.
Life Shaw Stevens now in at running back. They really like this young man, and he's got a first down. Changed his number to 24 this week, the 5'8", 205-pound junior. At 83 yards last week. He wore number 34 a week ago. And after some difficulties handling the ball in the first half, Shaw Stevens totes it for a first down. They're on the edge of the Campbell University red zone. That time the sophomore got dropped by the veteran Thompson.
And Thompson just stayed low off the ball. Quick first step. His agility, the ability to bend and get through the line. And that's what makes him special, and that's what college coaches see when you turn on his film.
Shaw Stevens beside his quarterback there, Shaw. Very little for Shaw Stevens that time, as the Panther Creek defense answered the bell. Nice job up front there by Anaya to clog a hole, and now it's going to be third down, Sonny. This is a key possession early in the second half.
And third and long. So for Panther Creek, your secondary has to know where the first down line is, protect it, and then up front, the past two plays, the D-line has gotten pressure. You've got to get in the backfield.
Shaw Stevens stays out there. He'll block. Here goes John Mark Shaw, and he'll be brought down. Tried to get the wheels going under him. And a good job to close it up downfield. Let's see what they decide to do on fourth down.
Well, Tyler Thompson got back initially, along with Robinson, and then Shaw, a nice job. He couldn't get the first down, but he went and got what he could to help out with this fourth down coming up, and they're going to stay on the field with 4th and 9.
Shaw throws for the end zone, and it'll be incomplete. He wanted Gary. He was being trailed in coverage by Taylor Jones, and they'll turn it over on downs on their opening possession of the second half.
This is perfect coverage by Taylor Jones. See number 21, Jeremiah Taylor Jones, sitting back in coverage. Nowhere to go.
Thompson out there, he had that internal clock going, did he not?
He did.
Panther Creek with the option again. This one is picked up 20, 30-yard line. Stumbling is Turner, and another dandy explosion play there by Turner, and that'll bring up for Panther Creek an NCDPS first down. Go to ncdps.gov/careers and start your new career.
This play call has changed the offense this game. I mean, we're seeing it in live action, the zone read with the option to pass. And Clancy's pulling the ball, but then he's keeping his eyes up.
Heaves this one across midfield. And it'll be a first down to the 45-yard line. The Panther Creek Catamount offense comes out fired up. And that averaged over 30 points per game, but the flag will move it back. Panther Creek lost last year to the eventual state champ Cardinal Gibbons in the 4th round. Got beat in the opener at Hillside last week, 56-10 for Sean Crocker's group. And an eligible receiver downfield. He was talking to us this week, Sonny, about he was recruited to UNC late. He actually had an offer from then 1AA Richmond and Randolph-Macon, a D3 school out of the ODAC. And a Carolina recruiter had actually come to see one of his teammates who eventually went to Penn State play, and Crocker had an interception in that game and caught the attention of the recruiters and went on to play for Mac Brown. Here's a first down, and it's Garrity moving the chains for the Catamounts.
Garrity had over 80 catches last year. Clancy just keeps moving, gets the ball to the outside, and then Garrity takes over. In this ball game, we've seen these wide receivers. Not only do they have great hands, but the yards after the catch has been huge. It's been so tough for the defenders to bring these guys down.
The ball rests just outside of the 48. ncdps.gov/careers is where you could head to start a new career today. An NCDPS first down. Here's the option again on the read. It's slung out, looking for a blocker ahead of him, and picking one up is Garrity. Nice patient running after the catch. And right now they've got the Leesville defense all kinds of off balance.
Well, and what they're doing is, they've had problems when they've thrown the ball over the middle, but now they're going strictly to the perimeter and moving the pocket, letting Clancy use his legs, and it's helping him out. He looks more comfortable. He's getting rid of the ball quickly outside to his playmakers.
Couple receivers to either side. And that'll be a procedure penalty going against Panther Creek.
Full start against Panther Creek. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
See, backed up 5 here. Now 2nd and 9. Ball's at the 47-yard line here. Our West Shore Friday Night Rivals presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. Patrick Johnson, Jay Sonalder with you. Midway the 3rd. Panther Creek, their first possession of the second half. Clancy trying to get everybody in the correct position, and it's another marker down.
False start against Panther Creek. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
The penalties halt momentum. Only 4 in the first half, a couple already now on this drive. Catamounts are doing a lot of good things. They just got to clean up that area and let the offense and their explosiveness take over.
But now 2nd and 14 as they're going in the wrong direction. Clancy going to throw over the middle. It's dragged inside the 40-yard line. Nice catch made by Garrity.
Really, the senior standing up. He's having a heck of a game. This is a deep in route. Goes over the middle, and those are always tough routes when you know you're going to get hit. Brings it in with the focus. Nice hands. Protects the ball, and Sonye makes the tackle. A good job picking up the first down.
Tunnel screen here. Nothing doing for Castellan there. Very little. It'll bring up 2nd down.
Carlson read the screen. Nice job by him. Along with Jamari Wright, number 23, going to make the play.
Just 2 possessions so far in a rapidly moving 3rd quarter. Second down and 8. Panther Creek down 3. Clancy gandering over at the sideline. Now he has the play and will heave it across the middle towards the end zone, and it's incomplete. Castellan had a little bit of a step on right there, but they could not convert.
The offensive line holds up. the Pride playing coverage. But Clancy found the one-on-one opportunity. They just couldn't connect.
So now 3rd down and 8. 4-down territory, Sonny?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, it's picked off, and it's going to be 6 the other way. Leesville read it perfectly that time. What a night for Saunier. His 3rd pick, his 2nd touchdown, and Leesville with a Crabtree touchdown. Crabtree Mall, your go-to destination for fashion and food for 50 years. Shop, dine, and explore our 200-plus stores and restaurants in the heart of Raleigh.
And Saunier, just such an impressive game. Offense, defense, and he read it. He looked at the eyes, jumped in the passing lane. He's been all over the field tonight, and that play is one of those momentum plays where Panther Creek's driving down, and then all of a sudden, the Pride take over the 2nd pick 6 of the game.
So 2 defensive scores tonight. Kick is good. And that makes it a little bit of a scoregami here in the 3rd. Leesville, their 2nd pick 6 of the night. And Saunier, his 3rd interception of the game. Well, a pick 6 started the game for Leesville, and J1 here has put them up by 2 scores.
Yeah, the defense really standing up, and now the Pride have a cushion, and I think this is really going to give them a lot of confidence, the defense making the play. And now Panther Creek, they're going to have to find a way to overcome another turnover.
10-point game here. And when the Leesville offense gets set to come out after this American Military University kickoff, we'll send it downstairs to Alexa Kay for a story that really, there's a reason these young men play high school football, and this is one of those feel-good stories that she has for us. First, the kick coming by the Pride here. It'll go into the end zone to Alexa Kay.
Hey guys, yes, earlier this week we talked to Leesville coach Ben Holstead, and he told us one of the best stories we've heard in a while. Kareem Mendez, number 66, the right tackle, has been fighting hard the last 3 years to get eligibility, and he's finally gotten his chance as a senior. Holstead basically just told us that it's all about accountability. Like, he takes his team and makes them be accountable for every single thing that they do. That's something that he truly believes in, and this is a perfect example that Kareem Mendez has now getting to play. Also, another thing that Coach touched on this week is he said there are no superstars, just a lot of guys who love to play football. Back to you guys in the booth, Patrick.
Yeah, they're hanging in there tonight, and that is a gang tackle there. Very little for Clancy to do anything with. He got swallowed up. Nice job to get over there to him by Watkins with some help from Carlson. Jay, that was a pretty good story there. Offensive lineman is senior. Mendez, the right tackle, had a hard time getting things in order in his life, but he did, and now he's part of this team, and this group is up by 10. Here's the throw. It's going to be another interception, the 4th of the game for Saunier, and the 5th thrown tonight. Or is it 6? Yes, 6 thrown tonight by Clancy.
It was a special moment. Ben Kolstad going over right next to Saunier as he gets up. And Saunier just right in the middle of the field, again reading the eyes and making another huge play for his team as he goes down. Coach Kolstad was right there next to him to pat him on the hat and tell him good job.
He's had such a bead drawn on some of these passes, Sonny. It's almost like he knows the pattern. He looks like a receiver out there running the pattern. comes Shaw back the other way, calls his own number, and he'll bust it for a first down as he totes it inside the Campbell University red zone for a first down. That first down for NCDPS. Go to ncdps.gov/careers and start your new career.
And two of the top players on the offensive side, Josiah Gary, Braxton Lassiter, the left tackle and wide receiver. The Shaw broke out of the pocket. Those two talented players are helping him out downfield by making nice blocks to clear an alley.
The Campbell University red zone leading with purpose. Shaw taking his time here. And there is the handoff going to Scott. Close. Did he get in? Yes, he did. It's a Leesville Road touchdown. DJ Scott with his second tote of the season for a score.
The toughness of Scott. Look at him just run through the tackles. Refuses to go down short of the goal line, following the big offensive line. He just plows his way through, and now the pride really taking over.
Yeah, the pick six and now an offensive score, and it's soon to be 3-score game with this point after. Leesville Road has busted it open here in the third. They lead Panther Creek on West Shore home. Friday Night Rivals presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. Stay tuned during the fourth quarter. We'll have the Harris Teeter scoring drive of the game. Your Vic card saves on fuel, food, and more. And during the fourth quarter of the game, we'll also select the West Shore Home's player of the game. West Shore Home converts your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day. Good candidate, I would say, for player of the game. He's got a couple touchdowns tonight, a bunch of interceptions, and he's out there on the kick coverage team. All fumbled at the 5, picked up, and this is going to be trouble, it looks like, for Panther Creek. They're able to return it to just the 14-yard line. So Means bringing it out. Let's say he crossed ahead to the 15, so that's where they'll scrimmage here. Tough spot for Panther Creek, who fought all the way back after a really bad start. Tied it up at 14. We're only down 3 at the half, but a pick 6 for a score, the second of the game for Leesville. And then a touchdown run from Scott. And we've got a 17-point affair here. And you get the sense with the way that Leesville's playing right now and starting to swarm on defense, Sonny, that they're poised for some more.
I mean, for Leesville, this is exactly what you wanted out of the halftime break. You take over, your defense creates opportunities. You get a score with Sonya's interception. Your ground game gets going. Now you have a large cushion. It's all about now sitting back on defense. And for Panther Creek, you figure they're going to throw the ball here, so this secondary again can read the eyes. And on the offensive side, that ground attack has really helped them out creating balance.
Swing pass here. Clancy threw it to Robinson, and then Robinson was sent out of bounds. Lawrence was over there. I'm not so sure they weren't designing some sort of halfback option there, and now Robinson, or is it Turner, is shaken up. Landed wrong. We'll see, though. Inside of 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter, and it is a cramped situation, it appears. That's the good news. So Turner, who has a touchdown tonight, handful of catches, will come off. Jay, if you're Coach Crocker here, what do you have to go to? Because you get the sense down 17. You need a score, ideally, to come sometime in this final 2 minutes, or at least be in a position to score quickly to start the fourth.
Well, I think, for this offense, there's been a lot of big plays. I think you look at the score, you're down 17, and Leesville's probably expecting a pass. I think you still have to give the ball to Luton. Let him run the ball and see if you can create running lanes for him and then have some balance in the passing game.
Shovel pass to Luton.
Clancy shovel passes to
Ripped down by Purvis. It's going to bring up fourth down.
tackle on play number 6, Xavier Lewis. Brings up 4th and 7 for Panther Creek. Tyler Thompson on the punt.
So they're going to punt. Only the second time in this game in which they're doing that. Leesville Road will get away, and it'll roll down and brought down at the 38-yard line. 34-yard punt. Highly unofficial, but that's what we're going with here with 45.9 remaining in the third.
And Patrick, the defense for Panther Creek, there's a couple turnovers they created in the first half. I think for them, they've got to find a way to create a spark for their team, because right now the Pride has the momentum. They've got to get an interception, claw for the ball, try to knock it loose to help out their offense and give them good field position.
Thompson, who had over 100 tackles and 19 sacks a year ago, trying to fire his team up down on the sidelines. See if he can come up with a play here. Catamounts on first down. Thompson lost his helmet.
Shaw Stevens with the run up the middle. Tackle by
Shaw
number 33.
Stevens.
Bring on the ball.
And it'll bring up second down.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
He picked up one. 2nd and 9 to go here as the third quarter clock starts to trickle down. And the Pride are going to let this run out here on the third quarter. A pick six for Saunier, and then a DJ Scott run for a score. And Leesville looking like they're in the driver's seat to win their 6th in a row in this series between the Pride and the Catamounts. We'll see how it shakes out in the fourth quarter. It's our West Shore Home Friday Night Rivals presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. What a night for Saunier. Couple pick sixes in this one and 3 scores, and Leesville up 17. Leesville Road came out in the third quarter. Their defense put a score on the board, and then they stayed on the ground to add another. And they find themselves leading Panther Creek as we go to the fourth, with John Mark Shaw, the senior, keeping it on 2nd and 9, and he fights for some tough yardage out across the 45-yard line. Their head coach, Ben Kolstad. Brother coach with him as a defensive coordinator at his stop and carry. Now he coaches in Wisconsin. His dad, John, and his grandfather, Howard, both in the Wisconsin Coaches Association Hall of Fame. In Green Bay, played at Green Bay East High School, Coach Kolstad. Got John Mark Shaw out there at quarterback. 3rd and short. Let's see what they decide to run here with Shaw Stevens out there at the running back spot. Sophomore will get the ball. He's got a first down and takes it just across midfield.
Shaw Stevens with the run. Tackle on the play, number 30, Buchanan Simons.
So that'll be a first down.
Leesville first down.
A myspot.nc.gov first down, your spot for COVID-19 protection. From the 50, first down and 10. Shaw keeps. And then Shaw will run, and he'll ramble for a first down out on the outside across the 40. Sonny, John Mark Shaw, we've talked about his passing prowess. Certainly he's got a great frame, but he's got some wheels as well.
I think we're going to continue to see his legs just add more of a dimension to this offense. I mean, how would you like to tackle 6'5", running downhill, coming at you? And he's got the speed as well. I mean, you look at his game, and he's got all the physical tools. But in this offense, the coaching staff really is pleased with his development and what he can do to create matchup nightmares through the air or on the ground with him running.
Shaw Stevens, after the gain of 11 on first down, he picks up about 6. You know, it's interesting. He's one of those kids, Sonny, is Shaw, that he transferred from Broughton, was injured with an ankle injury much of last year, came on late in his junior year. And with COVID kind of doing some funky things with these college camps and the portal now, I mean, you'll see a lot of programs maybe opt for somebody with some experience. He's one of those classic cases of a guy that maybe has slipped through the cracks a little bit. Keeps the football here. And that'll bring up third down and short.
Well, when you're an evaluator, you're a coach, college coach looking at a high school player, you look at production, of course, but you also look at potential. I mean, the production is there, but the potential, I mean, it's limitless with his size, his ability, and continue to get better every single week. I mean, he's got the ability to run the ball, throw the ball down the field, a really good leader, and he's got all those qualities that you look for.
Takes his time here at the line. And they'll give it to Shaw Stevens, and he will get a first down run and a little more. Just shy of the 20-yard line, down to the 22. And another myspot.nc.gov first down.
He ran right behind number 66, Kareem Mendez. Look at him just plow his man, push him back, and he runs right behind his right tackle.
Sonny, just one more thing on Shaw, and stick with me here. You know, I saw Daniel Jones in what was his last high school game, Independent Schools Championship, Charlotte Latin, a few years ago. And at the time, he was headed to the Ivy League. That's before Duke got on him. And of course, he's gone to the NFL. But his build was very similar, is very similar to how Shaw was in high school. Tall, rangy, and looks like somebody that can put on a lot of muscle and add some strength to that frame. Not making the comparison as far as ability, but Shaw has a real good control of the game and understanding of the game here. And right now he's running kind of a quasi 4-minute offense to perfection.
Well, I think that's a great comparison. I mean, they look alike, and the skill set's very similar. I mean, Daniel Jones can run. I mean, he's very athletic, but he's a passer first, and that's what Shaw is. And again, I mean, for him, we talked to Ben Kolstad, and he said college coaches are tracking him. But they're going to like what they see, the more film they watch of him as this season progresses. And Ben Kolstad, talked about his players, the amount of prospects he has on this team, and how they're just really good football players and great kids. They have the grades. I mean, he just loves his bunch, and his players are lucky to be coached by him because both coaching staffs here, the thing that impresses me is they care about these kids on the field and off the field as well.
Third down here. They'll let him go to the air, and he'll sling it towards the end zone. It is going to be incomplete. Tough ball to kind of come up with there, but he did a good job of throwing to where only his receiver could get it. And unfortunately, it was out of the reach of Briar Griffin there.
Well, the offensive line was running the ball and then creates a clean pocket. That's where you want to put it. Give your receiver an opportunity, but you don't want to leave the ball short. And good coverage, again, from Panther Creek. I've been impressed with Lamine all game.
Shaw moving the pocket, and he'll throw for 6 here. A touchdown. The pass complete to Rivenbark. his second score of the season. And for Rivenbark there, a Crabtree Mall touchdown, your go-to destination for food and fashion for 50 years. Shop, dine, and explore 200-plus stores and restaurants in the heart of Raleigh.
An outstanding route. Shaw rolls out to the left. Rivenbark just goes across the field, finds the open seam, and a nice job as he's running full speed, focusing to haul that pass in and get the touchdown to stretch out the lead.
Naik boots it through. And Panther Creek now up 24 with 7:16 to play. They lead. Leesville Road. Shaw, his second of the night. Great job by our crew here tonight, bringing you the sights and sounds of this one. What a way to open our West Shore Home Friday Night Rivals, presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling 2022 campaign. Patrick Johnson, Jay Sunalder, and newcomer Alexa Kay with us here tonight. So Leesville, an off week next week. Then they'll take on Southern Durham in 2 weeks, Jay. They're in the Cap 6. And, of course, they're in there with defending state champ Cardinal Gibbons, who finally broke through last year. You have Athens Drive, where you played, Broughton, Inlow, Sanderson. How do you see the Cap 6 shaking out this year?
I believe it's going to come down to Leesville Road and Cardinal Gibbons. I mean, that's going to be the matchup when they play. I believe it's for the conference championship. And then also, too, I wouldn't be surprised if they face off in the playoffs as well.
There's a nice return as Panther Creek getting something going into Leesville territory. That's been a dangerous part of their game and an effective part of their game tonight, but a flag comes down, and that might have been what sprung Turner for the big run there.
It's coming back. Turner takes it right up the middle. There's a nice lane increase. Block in the back's going to bring it back.
Ball placed 30-yard line, 1st and 10, Panther Creek.
That's a tough break for the Catamounts. Now we'll start at the 30. On our American Military University kickoff. Here we go with 1st and 10. Going downfield, and it's going to be another interception thrown in this one by Clancy. And this will be returned. Look at Wright go as he's chased down finally at the Catamount 35.
Jamari Wright with the interception, tackled by number 4, Bradley Gary. Ball at the 35-yard line.
The Leesville secondary again just standing up. I mean, they're going to get a lot of highlight plays with their play coming off the wide receiver, getting another turnover. And that's what's kind of sealed the deal, especially in the second half, is the defense standing up and limiting the passing game for the Catamounts.
4 turnovers in the first half. 7 tonight, 6 interceptions. Tough night for Will Clancy. So now with 6:45 remaining, an opportunity to put this one on ice as they've gone to DeAndre Goldston, the backup.
New quarterback into the game for Leesville, number 16, DeAndre Goldston. Handoff to number 24, Shaw Stevens. No gain of play, brings up 2nd and 10.
For Panther Creek, they lost in this game a year ago, 45-zip over at Leesville. But then bounced back and ended up winning 10 games in the season, despite an 0-2 start a season ago. So certainly it can be done, as Lifeshaw Stevenson, spelled L-Y-F-E, takes it ahead a couple. Second down upcoming here. Southwest Wake, 4A, Sunny with Apex at Apex Friendship, Cary, Green Hope, Holly Springs, Middle Creek, and Panther Creek. How do you see that playing out this season?
I think Panther Creek is going to be right in the mix. I mean, last year they started off the loss to Leesville and they rattled off win after win. That's a really good league with Middle Creek. I believe it'll be Middle Creek, Apex Friendship, Holly Springs, and Panther Creek. Those are going to be the top four. But what I see from Panther Creek tonight is a lot of talent. They just have to clean up some of the mistakes, and they're going to be fine.
Number 44, Aaron Vereen with the run. Tackle on the play. Braylon Lamar. Brings up 4th and 7 for Leesville.
So 4th down, 7 here. See what the Pride decide to run here with the sophomore Goldston now in after Shaw threw his second touchdown pass of the game on the last drive. They're going to take a delay of game here.
Leesville Road, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
5-yard penalty will back him up. Give an opportunity here for a little pooch punt. What do you think, Sonny? Can the lineman, can Winstead put a little touch on it?
He's hit some great punts tonight. I mean, he's getting hang time and hitting it for distance. We'll see him here as he tries to pin back the Catamounts.
In the air, let's see where it goes. Nicely done, and it'll roll down to the 7-yard line where they will down it there. Nicely done, as the second half has been all Leesville here tonight. The Pride looking at a 2-0 beginning. West Shore home Friday night rivals presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. (38-14) Friday night rivals for West Shore home presented by Air Experts Heating and Cooling. Catamounts come out here. What they can do with just over 4 minutes remaining as the quarterback, Junior Clancy, keeps it. He'll get hit after a modest game. Amari Odom, we've talked about him throughout the night, missing this season with an ACL. He is field side now with Alexa Kay.
Hey guys, I'm down here with Amari Odom, and he is standing with me, being a coach on these sidelines, just like his coach told me he was. Earlier this week, we talked to Coach Sean Crocker, and he said you've really stepped up and become a leader, and it's really a new role for you. How do you think that you've been doing that?
Just all my life, I've been just trying to be the vocal on the team, the extra coach on the field or on the court, whatever it is the coaches need me to do, just to make sure everybody's in the right alignment, everybody's on the same page. So being a leader is not really nothing new to me, but it's just I just have to embrace it more while being off the field.
That's incredible. Well, you've definitely stepped up, and it's obviously being seen by your coaching staff, so that's incredible. And obviously you come from a long line of athletes. Was it just in your nature to naturally do this? And I know you're a two-sport athlete as well, so how is that?
Just growing up around sports, football, basketball, baseball, just that, and just being athletic as a young kid, just doing that growing up, it just always stuck with me. So that's what I plan on doing for the rest of my life.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Amari, and we'll let you get back to the game. Back to you guys in the box, Patrick.
All right, thanks a lot there, Alexa. Amari, such a nice young man. His mom played in the WNBA as a college basketball coach. His dad played in the NFL after playing at UNC. He's got a younger brother on the team who's got a tremendous amount of ability and star power written all over him. And Sonny, even though his team is coming up on the short end here tonight, he has really been someone that is trying to instruct Will Clancy what to do and been real positive in a situation that a lot of young men would have taken and maybe approached negatively.
Well, it's all about his attitude, and he's been such a positive influence on the team when he was playing, but now in the new rule, rehabbing, he's not able to be on the field, but he's doing everything he can through watching film, through being out at practice, helping his teammates, studying the game. He was, very involved throughout this ball game, helping out his offense and the team, and we covered him in basketball, and you see the talent on the basketball court, over on the football field. He's got football offers. He can do it all, and wherever he decides to go to college, they are going to get a steal because he's got the smarts, the leadership, and the talent, and that when you're on the football field, he's also brings those basketball skills with him and vice versa to each sport, and he's a guy that could potentially play 2 sports at the college level.
Clancy going to throw here on 3rd and 5, and it's aired incomplete. Here comes a late marker. Sonny, it was interesting to listen to Coach Crocker talk about Odom this week. It said, he's ahead of the curve on his rehab right now. He's moving around well. He's strong. He's trending ahead of that process, which is another testament to just his hard work and ability and determination. He says this is somebody who could go somewhere, be a multi-year starter, and then he really has the sky is the limit from there.
He's got everything you look for, and you see him on the field and the court, and the athleticism just jumps out to you, and then you talk to him, and he's got that it quality. And it's enabled him to be, one of the best in both sports. And you're right. I think he's going to be a star at the next level. And I think every coach needs to be after him because, he can't play right now with the injury. But once he gets healthy, he's going to turn it on and make plays in both sports. And on the basketball side, the basketball team went to the state championship. Shawan Robinson was the head coach and just had a fantastic year. And so many of those guys are now playing football as well.
For the first down following the penalty. It's going to be a catch by Amari Thompson. That'll pick up 4. Clancy hanging in there with the 1:35 remaining. Well, we don't get a chance to say it. Thanks to our crew. Great job tonight by them as they got us set up, and we are through the first one of 10 this year during the regular season for our Friday Night Rivals series. Great job by the crew and everything they have done. Look at the camera operators there, and from all the technical things they had to deal with to get us on the air here today and get me linked in. We really appreciate it. Great job. There's the best. It's a completion to Thompson again, and it'll bring up a first down here for myspot.nc.gov. We'll have our Harris Teeter scoring drive of the game, our West Shore home player of the game coming up for you. Clancy, strip, loses the ball, and it'll be another turnover. Boy, they have come in droves tonight, and that is a pickup by Alex Williams on the fumble. Tough night for Will Clancy, Sonny.
Well, you got to give the credit to Leesville Road's defense and offense, but the defense with all these turnovers, they're going to love watching the film because that's what defense is all about. Making stops, of course, but getting turnovers, helping your offense, changing the momentum, and they have done that perfectly tonight.
Well, let's take a look at the Harris Teeter scoring drive of the game for Leesville. And they got it right off the jump. Harris Teeter, your Vic card saves on fuel, food, and more.
2 tackles. Xavier Lewis, his teammates flying around. And then it was capped off. Little slant route. Xavier Lewis rushed the quarterback, then peels off, gets in the passing lane. And he was on fire to begin the ball game and get the lead for his team.
Well, certainly Xavier Lewis with the scoring drive of the game. His teammate, Nico Sonye, what a night for him as he's our West Shore home player of the game.
Sonye gets the touchdown, and then from his position in the backfield, that secondary, just playing center field, picking off passes, reading the passing lanes. Here's his third one jumping across, and that really changed the game in the second half, taking it in for the touchdown.
Convert your old bathtub into a modern and spacious walk-in shower in just one day with West Shore Home. What a win for Leesville Road on the road tonight to move to 2-0, and they win their 6th in a row over Panther Creek. The Catamounts fall to 0-2 here on the early season. A final word tonight from Panther Creek on the other side. Leesville with the victory tonight on Friday Night Rivals. The Pride moved to 2-0 as they downed Panther Creek tonight. It was a 3-point game at the half, and then Leesville blew it open after intermission. Let's send it down to Alexa Kay. She has the victorious Leesville Pride.
Hey guys, I am down here with Coach Kolstedt and the Leesville guys. They are really excited. Coach, you told me at the half that everything was a little bit sluggish, but you came out very aggressive, firing on all cylinders. What changed?
We just got physical, came at them instead of kind of playing their game, and we just came at them and finished strong and got a win.
What are you going to take away from this game tonight?
A win, and just got better. We got better. We fought through some heat and some different stuff, so we'll be ready for next week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Coach, and congratulations, guys.
Yeah. Leesville Road, the winner of our FNR trophy tonight as they defeat the Catamounts of Panther Creek. Well, all of us would like to take a moment to thank the wonderful folks at West Shore Home, Air Experts Heating and Cooling, Talk It Out NC, and Tatum and Atkinson, who make these games possible for viewers at home. We'd also like to thank our other great supporters for their contributions to our Friday Night Rivals telecast. MySpot.nc.gov, Crabtree Mall, United States Marine Corps, Campbell University, Harris Teeter, NC DPS, and the American Military University. And we'd like to especially thank tonight's participating schools and their administrators for their support, Leesville Road High School and our host, Panther Creek. We'll tune in next Thursday, a special edition of Friday Night Rivals. Northern Durham taking on Southern Durham. We'll have it for you at 7 o'clock. For Jay Sunholder and Alexa Kay, our entire crew, I'm Patrick Johnson. So long, everybody.
Ever since my boots first hit these streets, had to scratch